What if your organization could control not just a planet, but entire regions of space? Imagine having the power to protect your planetary bases from orbit and even lock down key jump points from your enemies. This isn't just a dream anymore. It's the future of org and player-owned space stations in Star Citizen. Today we're diving into the final part of base building and crafting, where we'll explore the immense possibilities and strategic advantages of owning a space station. If you've been keeping up with crafting and base building, we've covered a lot about this topic in Star Citizen. But now it's time to go beyond the planet's surface and into the depths of space. For any growing organization, the next logical step is owning a space station. These stations won't be just passive hubs. They'll become the heart of your operations, crafting ships, defending assets, and positioning your org for dominance over critical points in the galaxy. I know the big question on everybody's mind. What will these stations actually let us craft? And how will they integrate into the broader game world? Well, stick around because we're about to break down how space stations could change how we dominate the verse. Space stations are set to be game changers in Star Citizen, but like any major feature, they come with their own set of challenges. Building a space station is no small feat. It's going to demand massive coordination, resources, and a long-term commitment from your organization. And even after it's built, how you utilize your station will decide whether it's a strategic asset or just another large target. The first challenge is the sheer scale of resources needed. A station isn't something that appears overnight. You'll need to gather materials from mining, salvaging, trading, and likely even monster hunting. Now, whether through your org's mining fleets or partnerships with others, assembling the necessary resources will be the initial hurdle. And small-scale operations won't be enough for something of this magnitude. Your org will need a steady stream of mined materials, salvage parts, other unique resources, and massive cargo shipments just to sustain the project. But once constructed, maintaining the station will be its own commitment. Power consumption, module upkeep, and defense against potential threats all need constant attention. You'll have to ensure your station has the power and resources to support various modules with different functions, leading to even more resource requirements. Space stations, in essence, are ongoing commitments, requiring continuous resource gathering and logistical planning. Failure to maintain that flow of resources could cripple a station, making it a prime target for your org's rivals. And this brings us to the next major challenge: defense. Now, if you're enjoying this breakdown and want to stay updated on all things Star Citizen, consider subscribing. I'll keep bringing you the latest insights and updates on everything happening in the verse. Now let's get back to space stations. Building a space station isn't something that you can accomplish with just a few credits. You'll start with a basic structure like a supply bay deployed from the Pioneer. From there, it's all about expanding and upgrading. Your organization will need to prioritize crafting facilities, defensive modules, or trade hubs to generate revenue. Space stations shine in their modularity. Smaller orgs can focus on essentials, just enough to service their fleet. Larger orgs, however, can take things to the next level by adding additional hangar wings, large cargo wings, or a refinery wing. With size comes a demand for resources. The most ambitious your station, the more resources it will require. That means constant mining, salvaging, and maybe even raiding to keep things operational. As your station grows, the decisions on what to prioritize will have lasting effects. Do you go all in on defense, creating a fortress in space, or invest in trade and industry to generate revenue streams for future projects? Each approach has its benefits, but the beauty is that the choice lies within you and your organization. Larger stations with expanded capabilities will become cities in space, with docking facilities, trade posts, repair bays, refineries, and even manufacturing areas. Not only for your org, but potentially open to those willing to pay. This can turn your org into a regional power, controlling trade routes, or transform it into a fortress to repel any intruders. And then there's the importance of location. A space station built near a resource-rich asteroid field can anchor an entire mining operation, giving your org a permanent foothold in a region that other groups may covet. Meanwhile, a station positioned near a transient jump point offers the unique ability to control system access, something we'll dive into shortly. Once your station is fully operational, its true potential becomes apparent. Space stations aren't just pretty hubs, they're critical defense and logistical assets. Let's say your org has built a massive planetary base on a resource-rich world. Without orbital protection, that base remains vulnerable. Enter the space station, a defensive bulwark allowing your org to protect assets before attackers even reach the atmosphere. With automated turrets, fighters on standby, and a staging ground for your fleet, your station becomes the first line of defense. With modular expansions, you can customize your station to meet specific needs. Prioritize defense by building turrets, missile platforms, and shields. Focus on production by crafting new ships with unique structures or refineries to process raw materials. Each station will reflect the unique characteristics of the org that built it. The strategic benefits are immense. A station near a jump point becomes a chokehold on an entire system. If we can place them near the jump points, that is. Pirates, rival orgs, and NPC factions must think twice before crossing into territory your station controls. These jump points are crucial for navigation in Star Citizen, and controlling them will give your org an incredible strategic edge. However, there will still be primary jump points that people will still be able to travel through that are largely UEE controlled. Your station could monitor traffic, enforce no-fly zones, or even act as a toll gate, charging fees for safe passage. Those who try to bypass or challenge your authority will face immediate resistance. And if near a busy trade route, you could capitalize on passing freighters by offering refueling, repairs, or even trade goods. But stations aren't all about firepower. They can be centers for commerce, generating revenue, and serving as neutral hubs. Imagine your space station becoming a go-to stop for trade caravans, bounty hunters, and explorers. Your station could offer refueling, ship repairs, resupply for long hauls, and even a bustling marketplace. The economic benefits are huge. Stations on key trade routes will become hubs for commerce, attracting both NPCs and players. By investing in cargo bays, shops, and trade hubs, your org can establish a financial empire while offering a valuable service to the community. And don't overlook the revenue stream from docking fees, repairs, and resupply missions. For orgs preferring a non-aggressive route, trade hubs present a lucrative way to stay neutral while profiting from the versus chaos. You can also attract players for large-scale events. Stations could host commerce affairs, auctions, or even combat tournaments, drawing in participants from various systems. Your station could become a center of activity, driving traffic and wealth into your org. And now the part that we've all been waiting for: dry docks. These specialized structures allow organizations to craft capital ships directly at their stations. And the big question on everybody's mind: will we be able to finally craft a Bengal carrier? The Bengal carrier is iconic in Star Citizen, and crafting something of that scale will be a monumental task. Even with a dry dock, building a Bengal won't happen overnight. Likely a few months. It's a challenge that would require input from many players, all feeding into a massive industrial engine, mining, refining, crafting, and assembling. The Bengal is about more than just size and firepower. It's about prestige. Owning one marks your org as a serious player, with the resources, coordination, and manpower few can match. But with that comes responsibility. If orgs are limited to one Bengal, losing it would be devastating, potentially setting your org back significantly. But crafting capital ships isn't the only reason stations are invaluable. They're strategic hubs. Not only can your station offer orbital protection, but it can also serve as a command center for overseeing multiple operations. From trade to mining to combat, stations could act as the nerve center of your organization's activities. Now, aside from securing jump points, there are many different capabilities that we could use for our stations. At its core, Star Citizen's org bases and player-built space stations represent a new level of endgame content. As we look towards Star Citizen's full release, these elements offer what many players have been seeking: a meaningful, challenging goal for organizations that provides rewards on both individual and collective levels. For Star Citizen to fully realize its potential as a universe, it needs enduring goals, strategic depth, and player-driven narratives, all of which are captured by the concept of player-built bases and stations. For PvE players, these bases represent a sandbox of possibilities. Managing resources, expanding base infrastructure, and defending assets against NPC threats provides continuous objectives that evolve as the base grows. Players will get to explore the logistical challenges and operational demands of running a base, such as defending from NPC incursions or setting up resource production lines to sustain the base. PvE content like this is ideal for those who want to engage in deep, methodical gameplay that emphasizes long-term planning, resilience, and economic management. In contrast, PvP-focused players will find that org bases add a layer of high-stakes competition to the game. Defending a base from other players or organizing an offensive to capture or destroy rival assets introduces strategic challenges that go beyond simple firefights. Here, each battle has consequences. Losing a base can mean giving up territory, control over resources, or access to lucrative trade routes. The need for strategic planning, careful resource management, and the mobilization of fleet assets makes PvP encounters around org bases some of the most engaging content in the game. Together, these bases and stations are more than just structures. They're landmarks in Star Citizen's universe, shaping the game world by giving players the power to control regions of space, influence trade, and dictate the outcome of battles. The presence of an org-controlled base can have ripple effects across entire star systems, setting the stage for player-driven stories, alliances, and conflicts that define the Star Citizen experience. Space stations will redefine how organizations operate in Star Citizen. From crafting capital ships to guarding transient jump points, the strategic depth they offer is immense. They won't just be floating structures, they'll be dynamic hubs, integral to the success of major operations. The future of space stations brings exciting questions. Can we craft a bangle? Will orgs be limited to one? And how will stations control key areas? The possibilities are vast and will only expand as CIG continues to develop Star Citizen 1.0. The potential of space stations opens up endless possibilities. They could reshape the power dynamics of the verse, offering unparalleled advantages to the orgs that build them and protect them. From overseeing planetary operations to asserting control over trade routes, stations will become cornerstones of influence and authority in the verse. If your org is serious about expanding beyond planetary dominance and moving into the realm of galactic control, then space stations are your next strategic leap. This isn't just about brute force. It's about logistics, long-term planning, and executing a vision that can give your org an edge. Whether your focus is defense, commerce, or production, these stations are set to become critical assets in your organization's rise to prominence. So what are your thoughts? Will space stations be a key part of your org strategy? How do you think controlling jump points or key regions of space might reshape the political landscape of Star Citizen? Will your org focus on crafting capital ships, enforcing blockades, or building trade hubs? Let me know in the comments below. I'm curious to hear all of your thoughts. And if you're enjoying the content and want to help grow the channel, consider joining as a member. Members get exclusive access to videos, early content, and private Discord channels where we discuss everything Star Citizen. Plus, your support directly fuels content creation and keeps our community growing. If that sounds like something you'd enjoy, click join and become part of the crew. And don't forget to check out the link in the description for all the details on our current giveaway. And if you want more information on everything coming to features like base building, check out this video for more. Thanks for watching. Fly safe, pilots, and I'll see you in the verse. Have a go.